I have had this channel for a while. I've had a podcast on this channel, and I honestly I like the episodes. I really love the episodes and the content, which is why I leave it here. I've put some shorts on here, but I haven't been consistent on this channel. And the lack of consistency is not because of a lack of ideas. It's not because of a lack of time, because I can always find the time. The lack of consistency was because I have been so unsure of how to show up, and not just how to show up publicly, but how to show up for myself. I've been on this like seesaw of battling between private and public, and how much of myself I wanted to give the public, how much I wanted to share. And and it's not because, like I said, I didn't have a lack of content. I have things that I know that I want to share, that I'm meant to share. The problem is, how do I share it without giving too much away and without it affecting other people? And that's kind of where I've been stuck, between that area of being really honest and knowing the line of where like honesty stops and privacy begins. So that's kind of where I've been stuck in trying to figure out what direction to go in. Public part of me is saying, I want to move forward with this. I have a message to share. I feel like women need to hear this. The private part of me is saying, I want to keep certain things to myself. And the more I've thought about it, the more work I've done, I've realized that the reason that I want to keep certain things is not so much because of me, but it's because of how I have integrated the idea of public versus private, and how that came from childhood and the idea of we keep things inside the house. And so I've really been back and forth with myself over and over for way too long, and getting in my own way with what I want to do, with what I have a drive, a deep desire to do. And I finally just figured I just have to move forward. I have to move forward and allow myself to be real and honest in the process. And beyond that, I have to allow myself just to figure it out as I go sometimes. And I want to be honest. I want to be real. I want to connect with anybody that is willing to sit here and listen to me and connect with me. And so at some point, I just really had to decide, I just have to figure it out as I go, right? Like, I am a person that's only going to be honest and real and authentic. I can't be anything but that. But what I'm also not going to be is malicious or malevolent or mean or angry. And my intention is not to expose anyone or to point fingers. That's just not me. But what I do want to do is actually show folks what it takes to get through things. Because I'm going to be honest, I've been through things. And one of the best compliments I've ever received is that I don't look like what I've been through. And sometimes when you get online, you see influencers or you see people and they are telling you how they won and how they've gotten to the place that they're in now, or they're telling you how they can coach you to be something better, or how they can show you to lose weight, but they show you the after effects. There'll never be an after effect for me, because the journey is going to continue to go for a lifetime. I'm never going to stop healing. I'm never going to stop growing. I'm never going to stop becoming a better version of who I am. And my friends will tell you that I am so inherently different than I was 15, 20 years ago. There's a level of peace in me that I didn't even think was possible. There's a level of just joy and love and kindness. And I was that friend, and I'll still claim it. I am that friend that is the quote unquote the strong friend, right? I am the friend that folks just figured that I would figure it out one way or the other, because I always did. I could just manage without needing a lot of direction, regardless of what chaos was going on around me. And I have lived my life like that, maintaining and managing chaotic situations and allowing the world to only see that version of me. And on the tail end of that, I started to hate the word strong, because I felt like it took away from the experiences that I had been through, and it took away from how much I had to fight through it. But now I realize that's just how they view me, and that's okay. They view me as somebody that can handle it. And I know I am someone that can handle it. And if that's who I have to be, in other people's eyes, I'll take that. And that's what I want to share with anybody that needs that. I don't want to be the perfect version that's come out on the other side. I want to show you what it takes to get through to the other side. So, what you won't find here at all is perfection, because I just told you I'm figuring it out as I go along. And that is a 100% honest statement. But what you will find is truth. You will find honesty and truth, and someone that is willing to share her experience as she continues to move through it. I don't need to be understood by everyone. I'm okay with that, right? I know that not everybody is in the same place or has experienced the same things, but I know that there are folks that understand the language that I speak. I know that there are people that want more than surface level talk. They don't want just the I can show you how to be amazing. I can show you how to get there. I can tell you. They want the nitty gritty. I'm not polished. I am a real individual. I show up as I am. And one of the things that I am most proud of myself is that I show up into every single space as the same person. I don't change for anyone. I don't have to put a mask on in the room that I'm standing on in order to be digestible for anyone. I am happy with who I am in every single space as I am. And that is the biggest win that I could have ever imagined for myself, is being peaceful and joyful and happy and not feeling seen or unseen in any space. But let me tell you what it takes to get there, to get to a space where you're no longer concerned what other people think of you or how you're showing up in a room. It takes real work. And that work is not a year long or a month long. It is never ending. It is true healing. And healing is not linear. There's no time frame on it. I think I said this earlier, that there's no end date, right? Healing is ongoing. Growth is ongoing. There are seasons, right? There are times where you'll think that you have gotten through it all and where you have the answers and where you know how to show up in the world. And then you'll be tested on that healing, and you'll be tested on that growth. And you'll be tested. You'll say, I know how to show up. I am not going to respond in this way anymore, regardless of who comes at me in any kind of way. And then somebody's going to come at you in some kind of way. And you're going to have to decide whether this version of you responds in the old manner, or whether you're willing to take a pause and assess on how you're supposed to come. And if you realize that these lessons don't stop, then you'll know what it takes to experience growth. There's an emotional cost to it. It varies sometimes, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it to come out on the other side and to be happy with how you show up in all situations and not have to overthink how you showed up. If you're into astrology, I'll tell you all my signs. I'm a Libra sun, Gemini moon, and Capricorn rising. So if you know anything about astrology, you know, one, that I overthink everything. I'm in my head a whole bunch, and I am constantly like, I gotta show up in this way. I gotta do this, right? So just to get out of that mind frame was a lot. Just to allow myself to be and not have to fix and fight to have things be exactly how I want them to be all the time. That took work. But all of that, every bit of showing up in a new way, it is so freaking worth it. It is so worth it. I would take every lesson, every chaotic moment, every hurt. I would take it all over if I could end up exactly where I am right now, in a space where I feel inherently like myself, in a the most loving and beautiful relationship of my life, where I have my soft place to fall and I feel okay with being soft. Like I didn't even have to, it wasn't something I had to try to be. It wasn't something that I had to to create in myself. I still show up as I am, intelligent and strong and wonderful, but I can also melt. And I feel safe to do that in a way that I have never felt before. So if you connect with anything I said, if you are questioning yourself, who you are, what your purpose is, what your relationship should be, or whether or not you're in the right relationship, whether or not you know yourself, whether or not you know the people around you, or if that's the right surrounding for you. If any of these things you're questioning, and if you're starting to do that inner work and you don't necessarily have the language to communicate what you're experiencing, because that was one of the hardest parts, is that I was going through all of these things and experiencing all of these emotions and happenings on a day-to-day basis, and I would want to share these experiences or speak this language to the people in my circle, to my family, and folks were looking at me like I was crazy. And that was just because they didn't have the language to understand that belief in God can expand beyond what their thoughts of belief is. That spirituality is not an opposition to God. Like, as you discover yourself and as you let go of traditionalism and let go of things that you always believe that you should do, that awakening of self, it can be a difficult process. So, if you know that you're experiencing these and the people around you don't have that language, your friend group, you want them to be in the space that you're in. You want them to realize the things that you've been realizing about yourself or the world. You want them to get out of this little tight hold that they have on life and experience life in the way that you now see it, because you're starting to feel a little more peaceful. You're starting to feel like this direction, this intuition, these synchronicities, these things are meant for you. But no matter what you say, they don't understand the language because they're not ready, and you can't force somebody to be ready. Get where you are, because I have been there too. And so here is a space where I will share stories with as much honesty as I can, where I will speak to those folks that are tired of pretending, and where I will admit I don't have all the answers, because I know that I'm not done yet. But I'm just really, really happy where I am. And I really just want to have a space where other people that are in process can go to commune. So I'm going to be real. I have recorded the ending to this video more times than I can count. And this is so on brand for what has happened to me during this experience. I've spent this entire video talking about lessons and experiences, and I feel like this is my lesson right now, because I know I am meant to speak and I'm meant to teach. Like, this is my purpose. I have never been more clear of anything in my life. What, through astrology, through spirit, through dreams, God is telling me, show up and connect, and you are supposed to speak and connect with women. I know that. And so when I decided that I was going to get back online and record, I have been so in my head about it that everything was going wrong. Everything was going wrong. Every time I tried to record a video, something crazy would happen. The volume, the microphone would be, it would not transfer correctly. I'd record something, the space would fill up. I, I mean, my laptop, I dropped it on the floor and broke it. Everything that could go wrong did. I have an actual Sony camera that I was using for my podcast. Now I'm using my iPhone because I can't connect it to it. I mean, everything that went wrong did. And I recorded this first video like 10 times. Every video has a different theme. And I really, truly believe that the lesson here is I just have to move forward as I am. And I have to stop trying to be a perfectionist about the process. And I am just meant to be honest and open, and, and just deal with the punches as they come and be honest about them all. So, no bells, no whistles anymore. You're going to get me as I am. I shit you not. this, this is the experience. And when I tried to record the ending of this video about 20 times, I'm using a remote to stop and start, just to make sure I have a moment to myself. And I realized that I was stopping starting on the wrong parts. So when I went to go check, all I had was my pauses. I swear. So I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna roll with it, because this is my test to see if I'm putting my money where my mouth is, and I'm gonna show up regardless of what happens. And this is my intention, to be consistent and to keep showing up and to show you the process in real time, and then to show you the outcome of it all. So I hope you come along on the ride for me or with me. I am not recording this ending again. You're going to get what you get. As I tell the kids, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. But with love, always, I'm sending this out to you and to whoever else has made it through the end. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I hope to see you soon.